Marathon negotiations are underway at Parliament in hopes of reaching an agreement to end a standstill that's gone on for over a month now. Rival parties are scrambling to reach some sort of a compromise, namely on the online opinion rigging scandal and a proposed extra budget. Let's go straight to our National Assembly correspondent Kim Min-ji standing by on the line right now. Min-ji, how are things looking?
Daniel, talks have been underway since this morning between the four leaders of the country's four negotiating parties. But bearing no fruit, the baton has been tossed back and forth between themselves and their deputy whips throughout the day. Now, the National Assembly Speaker had given rival parties until this afternoon to strike a deal to normalize Parliament that's been at a standstill for over a month, triggered by a dispute over pending bills and amending the Constitution. The Speaker had set the deadline because he leaves for an overseas trip tomorrow, and both his term and the term of the ruling party's floor leader come to an end this month. On top of that, Parliament also needs to process the resignations of lawmakers planning to run for local elections in June. Now, currently, the biggest area of contention is whether the ruling Democratic Party of Korea will accept a bill aimed at launching an independent council probe into an online opinion rigging scandal allegedly involving one of its lawmakers. A blogger with the username Drew King is known to have used a computer program to manipulate the number of likes for comments critical of the Moon Jae-in administration. There are also suspicions that the blogger may have been engaged in rigging activities in the run-up to last year's presidential elections. Now, rival parties have said they have managed to narrow down their differences to some extent over when to hold the vote on the probe and on what conditions, but more negotiations are required. The floor leader of the main opposition Liberty Korea Party, meanwhile, is continuing with his hunger strike over the manipulation scandal, while the centrist Paramita Party also plans to hold an all-night demonstration in front of the Assembly.
Right, the standstill is something we've gotten used to, unfortunately, by now. So, Min-ji, how far have they come in terms of meeting halfway at this point?
Well, opposition parties initially demanded that the ruling party accept the probe, no strings attached, but now are willing to vote on both a bill to launch a special probe, the extra budget bill, as well as process the resignations of lawmakers running for the local elections. All of this on May 14th, which is next Monday. Now, Monday is the deadline for the resignations to be handled, so that by-elections can be held in vacant districts alongside local elections in June. But the ruling party has a different timeline in mind. It said that it would accept the probe on the condition that opposition parties simultaneously vote on the government's extra budget bill on May 24th. Now, eyes will be on what choice the ruling party makes or what new counter-offer it may propose. The ruling party has raised concerns that the opposition parties may decide not to pass the extra budget bill, given that there's less than a week for deliberation if a vote be held next Monday. Now, rival parties will be holding meetings of their own with their lawmakers this evening on the results of today's marathon meetings and see whether their parties as a whole can accept the new terms. That's all I have for now, but hopefully there will be some positive developments later tonight. Back to you, Daniel.
Right, we will be hoping that things continue to move forward. Thank you for those updates, Min-ji. We appreciate it.